Okay, so I think we can all universally agree on one thing. Wrestling has gotten completely fake as shit. I'm talking extra hokey, extra coordinated, extra soap opera. Oh my god, the Bucks don't like me anymore. Some good beer. Hey, Mass Gimps, do you guys want to hang out on my lawnmower? Yeah! Well, that looks like a world champion to me. Wowzers. But, 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 you know what? Never mind. Booker of the Year. He knows what he's doing. Anyhow, I've already done the top 10 fakest moves in all of professional wrestling, and apparently y'all want a part two? Good. I'm not trying to bury the business, guys. You want, you receive. There are 1,000 abominations burying the business within the wrestling ring. There will most definitely be a part two. But today, I thought we would focus on the most realistic wrestling moves in all professional wrestling. Moves that can happen to you, kind sir or madam. Moves that can happen in an everyday, regular street fight or grappling competition if you're a competitive fighter. Before I continue, these are not in any specific order because, you know, anything can happen in a street fight. You don't know what your opponent knows. For all you know, you could be fighting a Colt Cabana or a Matt Riddle, and we all know which one we'd rather box up. And also, two honorable mentions. The first one, Randy Orton's Marvelous RKO. And number two, Dolph Ziggler's Graceful Zigzag. They are only honorable mentions because they can happen, but they have to be out of nowhere, trying to kill all the technicalities. And one more from an out of nowhere perspective, the rear view, like tailbone in the nostrils, nose bleeding for days. Anyhow, number 10, go ahead and knock out the submissions. Number 1 and definitely most common is going to be the sleeper, and coming in at number 2 is definitely going to be the guillotine because everyone goes for the head. Trust me on this one, coming up in traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, a proper wrist lock will immobilize you to where you cannot move. That is a lot of pain, and I guarantee you will not be fighting it. Slick Devil will slip a knee bar on you so quick it won't even be funny. If it's a fight and it's locked in, your knee is out of socket. If it's a grappling competition, please tap out. This is not a show. Same thing with an arm bar. If it's a fight, you got two options. You either get to bite in that leg meat, or you just get to say goodbye to that arm being in socket. My competitive grapplers, you are not Dolph Ziggler trying to get out of Del Rio's armbar. Please tap out. I mean, if you do get out like that, I promise you, you are a goat. Yes, let's get this straight right now. The label lock, 100% legit. The crossface, give me a break. Trapping the arm with your leg and then wrapping your hands around the face to crank the neck, technical genius. Placing your opponent's arm between your leg where they can clearly rip it out at any time, just stop it now. The single leg Boston Crab, Lance Storm eats your heart out. Now we step into you have got to be specially trained to hit this territory. Because believe it or not, it is possible to hit a Boston Crab, a sharpshooter, and a cloverleaf. Look, I'm not suggesting to do any of this, especially in a real fight, but I'm just saying it is possible if you're strong and skilled enough. Okay, next category. Number 9, the kicks. Most common, definitely a big boot, and second place would be a roundhouse. But since we're talking realistic, the bro kick most definitely. It's actually called the bicycle kick. Prior to abuse from the Young Bucks, a super kick can possibly happen. It's most likely gonna wind up being a soul kick to the ribs, but hey, super kick enough. Yeah, okay, let's talk Trouble in Paradise. Yeah, it's realistic. It's called a flying tornado roundhouse, but it's more of like Taekwondo. And Taekwondo is definitely more meant for sports than combat. Like, trust me, look up any Taekwondo versus anything else. Taekwondo gets crushed 9 times out of 10. Please don't try to go win no fight with this flashy ass shit. You will absolutely get your shit busted. Ain't worth it. It is not worth it. Number 8, the last categorized one. Good lord. The basic takedowns. We're talking arm drags. We're talking hip tosses. The most common one is going to be the headlock takedown because everybody goes for the head. Double leg takedown that Tony D'Angelo does so well. That can happen. Y'all get it? The basic takedowns of wrestling, the overhead tosses, the fireman's carries, which is pretty much just a mini attitude adjustment. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and pick this up. Number 7, the attitude adjustment. Gosh, what did y'all see the fat boy? Whatever, hear me out. If you're strong enough to get under your opponent like this, it does not take much to adjust your shoulders, you see what I did there, and just drop them. Hell, throw the Samoan drop in there. I just wouldn't suggest doing it because you're dropping with them and that's easier to reverse. And I literally only say this because it happened to me and that shit hurt. Yep, sorry Cena haters, but y'all are just gonna have to see us with that one. Let's get to number 6. The spear! The spear! Look, just because Edge and Christian have the softest spears in wrestling history does not make it fake. Goldberg and Rhino were a thing. Oh, didn't we just see a spear at Dave Chappelle's show? Then Buddy caught a flurry of Superman punches and curve stomps in the back. I think the Shield was chilling back there. But yes, the spear and hell, do you want to throw the pounce in there too? Both of them are technically just football tackles. You know what? Let me spark a war in the comment section. Whose was nastier? Prime Goldberg spear or Prime Rhino's gore? I'm very curious. Number 5. Oh dear lord, the marks are about to pop. The jumping knee / the V trigger. The god Kenny Omega ceases to amaze. Jesus Christ. Okay, first of all, Roderick Strong's jumping knee is light years better than the V trigger ever will be. And 2, literally everybody else does the V trigger better than Kenny Omega. Buddy Murphy, Matt Riddle, Sheamus, Malachi Black. My God, we saw a V trigger in the UFC. I had to put it on the list. But note, Roderick Strong's jumping knee is much more realistic because we see that a whole lot more than a bicycle knee. Yeah, they putting boys to bed with this one. Did it in a real fight? I'm pretty sure you just won. 95% chance they are not beating the 3 count on that one. I mean, you never know, it might just be one tough son of a bitch. Knee to the jaw, knee to the temple. It's over with. Just ring the bell, ref. Number 4, the power bomb. Okay, so in real life, it's more likely going to be a gut wrench than a regular power bomb. But trust, if somebody bigger and stronger than you gets them arms around that waist, you going for the ride and you going down. Whether he drops you on your back or he jackknifes you on your neck. Air completely knocked out of you. You probably done. Like, straight up, Buddy won the fight. Dude just power bombed me. And if it was a fight, more than likely it was on concrete. Oh, thank you. I'm done with the fight. In the words of the famous Cody Rhodes, avoid, avoid, avoid. Coming in at lucky number 3, the Spine Buster. Well, I am telling you, there is no better feeling than being in the middle of a scrap and you just so happen to get under your opponent, lift him up, and then just drop him on the back. I'm trying to plant me a dumbass tree. You don't understand. I'm telling you, just pick that boy up and get your ass back down there. Woo, you don't understand. You may see a couple power bombs every now and then in a street fight. You're definitely gonna see a spine buster. People are definitely picking people up and just dropping them on a daily. You think you can step up to me? You think you gonna run up on me? Sit down. Sit down. You are my son. You're grounded. So I'm telling you, if they got a size advantage, you might want to look out for this one. And here's another one. At number 2, the Scoop Slam. This has got to be the most common move in all of street fighting. Done your opponent enough to scoop them up, you best believe somebody getting slammed. It's not going to be as pretty as on TV, but trust me, it's going to be just as nasty, if not worse. If you're feeling extra big, make it a power slam, why don't you? Or if you're feeling like somebody's going to get their ass kicked, just turn it into a world's strongest slam. One of the most basic moves in pro wrestling will give you spinal damage if done on concrete. My condolences if you've ever been caught lacking by this move. And number 1, the most dangerous, the pile driver. We all know the 69 driver, aka the tombstone, is not happening. But somebody can overpower you, get on top of you, lift you up, and drop you dead on your skull. In real life, they're not gonna lift you up and hold you like this. We're talking old school Cactus Jack. I'm just gonna sit back and drop you dead on your neck type thing. Pray this happens to no one because this will hurt you or damn near kill you. At what point in life do you feel like you need to pile driver somebody? Like, really, just get on top of somebody, deadlift them up and drop them on their neck? It's that deep? Hopefully it never has to be that deep between anybody. There are my top 10 most realistic wrestling moves. Look, technically I gave y'all more than 10, but shh, let's not talk about it. Okay, and last but not least, let me address 2 things. First of all, this was not an instructions course. Do not go try any of these moves to find out if they're so realistic. Because what you aspiring superheroes and super sleuth investigators don't realize is with a lot of these moves, size does matter. Please, just watch the wrestling, don't participate. Unless you're in a grappling competition, then go ahead and do what you gotta do. And number 2, I had mad backlash because on the top 10 fakest wrestling move, the Cobra didn't make it. Hate to break it to you guys, but that move is highly realistic. Santino just did it in a very hokey way. Called the crane strike, and trust me, if you get caught in the side of the temple or in the side of the neck with this thing, you are not going to be feeling very well. I hope you enjoyed the list. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate the time you have given me, and boy oh boy, don't you miss when pro wrestling wasn't as fake as it is now. What have we done?